Not by might, nor by power, but by my spirit, say the Lord of hosts. Not by might, nor by power, but by my spirit, say the Lord of hosts. I'm Elijah, and this is the program that you're listening to. And let's get into it, because we have a lot to go on, and man, the Lord God being show you things. And of course, I have the dreams, and I dream all last night still. Still the same thing, nothing changed. Banned from the Bible, 3 books in one, the book of Enoch, Jubilee, and Hash. And this one's written, translated or copied by Joseph Lumpkins. So you gotta read Hash first, from the time we left to go into when the promised land the first time. Jubilee is the prophecy of everything that was going to happen unto us from the time we left to God unto this day. And Enoch is the prophecy of everything that was going to happen in the world from generation to generation. So you should get those books and read those books, man. I tell you, it's of the Lord thy God. That's right. It is. The Lord God told you what you was going to do in the last days. That haven't changed. It's not going to change till it's been performed. The Apocrypha. Knowledge, wisdom, understanding, faith, hope, charity. That's judgment, execution of righteous judgment. The Bible, where it's come from, how it came, who put it together, when, where, and how. And this is how he gave it to me. Wisdom book. That's how the Lord God gave it to me. So that's the Apocrypha, wisdom book. That's right. So you want to know what they did, how they did it, and why it is, or read the Apocrypha. The Testament of Solomon, you got to know the demons. Who they are, what they are, why they are, what they are doing, and why they are doing, what frustrating them, what business they are in. Yeah, you got to know the demons, man. Because they are in this world right now, like the Lord God says, it should be like the time of Noah. And more, they're in this world and they're running rampant. Are they running rampant? Yeah. The Lord God told you that it was going to be, and that's that time. And nobody won't believe that time. They don't want to believe that it's that time, and it is that time. Next book is the reason why he'll say, I shall send Elijah before the great and dreadful day of the Lord. And he shall turn the hearts of the children back to the father the hearts back to the children. What? At least I come to strike the earth with a curse. So who are the father? The Testament of the 12 patriarchs. This one's by Robert H. Charles. And who are the fathers? Reuben, Simeon, Levi, and Judah. Issachar, Zebulun, Dan, and Naphtali, Gad, and Asher, and Joseph. And Benjamin. Man, our fathers left us everything. Sure did. Exhortations of the last time, evil of the last time. Who gonna do what against us, and how who gonna do what against what is attacking us, how they're attacking us. Yeah, so how we got in this captivity and how we gonna get out of this captivity. Everything is in there. The prophecy, everything is prophecy. And we know why? Because the law of God word and prophecy got to do what? Have to be fulfilled. So you get that. Then we have this. What he told Zerubbabel. Yeah. Not by might, nor by power, but by my spirit, said the Lord God of hosts, the Lord God of hosts. That's what he said. And that's not by might, nor by power, but by my spirit, said the Lord of hosts. So that's found in Zechariah chapter 4, verse 6. And so what's the spirit? What's the spirit of the Lord? So you'll find that in Revelation chapter 19, verse 10. So now you know what the spirit of the Lord is. That's right. And so those things make up what? That's gift, make up the Holy Bible. The Holy Bible had to come from somewhere. So now you know you ain't gotta listen to how they tamper with, what the damn who tampered with you. You don't have to know, you ain't have to guess no more and go by what somebody said. All you gotta do is go read the first and second book of Maccabees. But in the Apocrypha. Yeah, read that. Got much more of it in there. The prophecies, in Esdras, first, second Esdras. Man, go. That's why I say go read the book. Just get the book and read it, and let the Lord God guide you and lead you. Yeah, and then the Lord God gave me this book, the first and second book of Adam and Eve. So you know how it all started and how Satan started his tricks, and he haven't changed those tricks. And then you know all that in the New Testament, in the New Testament, what they be saying in the New Testament, in the way it came back, in the way it started from. That's right, because they tell you things they don't know where it come from. They don't know where it come from, who started, when, where, and how. The gospel, Thomas, Mary, and John. And it, like I told you, got things in that book that's not in the Holy Bible, and then got things in this book that in the Holy Bible is written in a different way. So that, especially the Acts of John, man. Yeah. So they have things in there. So I suggest you go get it and read it, man. You're gonna pay money for that foolishness they gonna give you. Yeah, buy my tape, buy my CDs. Man, that's nothing but foolishness. Foolishness. I'm gonna tell you the dream, but I'm tell it to you. After I give you what the thus say the Lord God gave it to me. So um, so let's go. So this was the Lord God gave me this morning. We're going to Isaiah chapter 17. Isaiah chapter 17. Um, the burden of Damascus. Behold, Damascus is taken away from being a city, and it shall be a ruinous heap. The city of Erah are forsaken. They shall be for flocks, which shall lie down, and none shall make them afraid. For the fortress also shall cease from Ephraim, and the kingdom from Damascus, and the remnant of Syria. They shall be as the glory of the children of Israel, say the Lord of hosts. And in that day it shall come to pass that the glory of Jacob shall be made thin, and the fatness of his flesh shall wax lean. So, what's the glory of Jacob? And it shall be when the harvestman gathered the corn and reapeth the ears with his arm, and it shall be as he gathered ears in the valley of Rephaim. When I stop, the Lord God remind me of a dream. And in this dream, I was eating corn. That's what I was doing. I was eating corn, plate full of corn. Yet, gleaming grapes should be left in it, the shaking of an olive tree, 2 or 3 berries in the top of the upmost broad, 4 or 5 in the outmost fruitful branches thereof, said the Lord God of Israel. I'll repeat that. That's Isaiah chapter 17, verse 6. Yet gleaming grace should be left in it, a shaking of the olive tree, 2 or 3 berries in the top of the upmost broad, 4 or 5 in the outmost fruitful branches thereof, say the Lord God of hosts. And at that day shall a man look to his maker, and his eyes shall have respect to the Holy One of Israel. And he shall not look to the altars, to the works of his hand, neither shall he respect that which his fingers have made, either the groves of the images. In that day his strong seal should be as a forsaken broth in the utmost branch, which they shall repeat that. In that day shall his strong seal be as forsaken broth in the uttermost branch, which they left because of the children of Israel, and there should be desolation, because they have forgotten the God of thy salvation, have not been mindful of the rock of thy strength. Therefore shall thou plant pleasant plants, and they shall set it with strange slips. So you go to, I'm gonna repeat that right fast now. I'll tell you, go to the store, and they got them slips that they put in the plants now. They don't sell you the seeds, just the seeds no more. They sell you a plant, because thou hast forgotten the God of thy salvation, and have not been mindful of the rock of thy strength. Therefore shalt thou plant pleasant plants, and it shall set it with strange slips. In the day shalt thou make thy plant to grow, in the morning shalt thou make thy seed to flourish, but the harvest shall be a heap in a day of grief and of desperate sorrow. Let me stop it right there for a minute. That's the time we're living in. That's what Jesus told you, how the last days should be. And then when you read this, Isaiah chapter 17, verse 11, you see it. He said what? But the harvest. And so when you go back and read the book of 12 Patriarchs, page 75 or page 59, they tell you how it's going to be. And so you living in that time. You live in the harvest time, and a day of grief and a day of death for sorrow. So what's the day of the Lord? The day of darkness and not of light. What the Lord God said when he come back, how the world gonna be? It's gonna be like in the time of Noah. Just after, if you study and you went to the books like the Lord God had showed you to go through the books, man, you can put your finger on everything and see what everything that the Lord God said and bring it back to it. Yeah. Woe to the multitude of many people, which make a noise like the noise of the sea, and the rushings of nations, that make a rushing like the rushing of the mighty waters. The nations shall rush like the rushing of many waters, but God shall rebuke them, and they shall flee far off, and shall be chased as the shaft of the mountains before the wind, and like a rolling thing before the whirlwind. And behold, at eventide trouble, and before the morning it is not. Repeat that, I get ahead of myself. Isaiah chapter 17, verse 14. Behold, the eventide trouble, and before the morning he is not. This is a portion of them that spoil us, and a lot of them that rob us. So, take that, put that together. Yeah. In the evening time, in the morning he is not, and his portion is like them that spoil us, and them that rob us. Man, it's a terrible day. The day of the Lord is a day of darkness, not of light. Isaiah chapter 18. Woe to the land with wings, which is beyond the rivers of Ethiopia, that send ambassadors by the sea, even the vessels of bulrushes upon the water, saying, Go, ye swift messenger, to a nation scattered and peeled, to a people troubled, from the beginning hitherto, a nation meted out and trodden down, whose land the rivers have spurned. All his inhabitants of the world, dwellers on the earth, see ye, when he lifted up an ensign on the mountains, and when he bloweth a trumpet, hear ye. For so the Lord said unto me, I will take my rest, and I will consider in my dwelling place like a clear heat upon herbs, and like a cloud of dew in the heat of the harvest. For afore the harvest, when the bud is perfect, and the sour grape is ripening in the flower, he shall both cut off the sprigs with pruning hooks, and take away and cut down the branches. They shall be left together unto the fowls of the mountain, and to the beasts of the field, and the fowls shall sum upon them, and all the beasts of the earth shall weather upon them. In that time shall the present be brought unto the Lord of hosts, of a people scattered and peeled, a people terrible from their beginning hitherto, a nation meted out and trodden underfoot, whose land is the rivers have spurred, the place of the name of the Lord of hosts, the Mount Zion. Yeah. I know I told you about the pruning hooks. I'll tell it to you again. I can tell you. He gave him the gate as I opened up the keys. I had the key, I opened up the key to the gate. And so after I was leaving, after I had opened up the key, there I was walking. And the holy angel drove up, was riding in a truck, in a van, and then he drove up, and he went inside, and he gave me, was on a seat beside him, and he gave me pruning hooks. That was, he gave me a pair of pruning hooks, and he gave it to me, and I told him I love him, and he was shocked that I said I love him. Yeah, sure did. What he said, yeah. All right, let's go to Isaiah chapter 19. The burden of the Egypt beyond the Lord, ride upon a swift cloud, shall come into Egypt, and the idols of Egypt shall be moved at his presence, and the heart of Egypt shall melt in the midst of it. And I will set the Egyptians against the Egyptians, and they shall fight everyone against his brother, everyone against his neighbor, city against city, and kingdom against kingdom. That was the Lord God told you. The Lord God said in the final day, how it should be. Nations should fight against nation, kingdom against kingdom, brothers against brothers. So that's all the Lord God telling you. Just like you find anybody tell you, if in the old is in the new. But you find in other books too. And the spirit of evil shall fail in the midst thereof, and I will destroy the counsel thereof, and they shall seek to the idols, and to the charmers, and to them that have familiar spirit, and to the wizard. And the Egyptian, because that's what's going on. When you're looking at these Hollywood movies and everything, man, these fake Jews then took over, man. They took over and they're ruling you. When you go read the book, the Testament of Solomon, and see those demons and what they're doing and how they're doing it, then you know what the Lord God is speaking about when you go in the book of Isaiah. I'll repeat Isaiah chapter 19, verse 3. For the spirit of evil shall fill in the midst thereof, for I will destroy the counsels thereof that seek to the idols, and to the charmers, and to them that had familiar spirits, and to the wizards. So, man, come on, bro. You got the Mason and Illuminatis and all the Illuminatis and all those different people doing all those different things, all those secret organizations. All that is of Satan. All that is of the devil. All of them are familiar spirits. All of them are wizards. Come on, man. Grand wizards and that's what they are. I'm just going to tell you. Just going to tell you. And you know who they are if you just go get the book and read the Testament of Solomon. All I can do is tell you this now because one day this is going to be over. Just like I'm speaking to you now, one day that's going to be over. And the Egyptians will I give over to the hand of a cruel Lord, and a fierce king shall rule over them, say the Lord of hosts. So that's really happening right now. And the waters shall fail from the sea, and the rivers shall be wasted and dry up. And they shall turn the rivers far away, and the brooks of defense shall be emptied and dried up. The reeds and the flags shall wither. Yeah, man, come on. The paper reeds of thy brooks by the mouth of the brooks, and everything sown by the brooks shall wither and be driven away and be no more. So, man, you go. You don't get in the United States, you don't get international news like you're really supposed to be getting. They give you a version of things. They hide so much truth from you. They hide so many things from the United States, just like they done before World War II. They're doing it now. Yeah. The Frischers, when I go, when you read PBS Even News and you go listen to all the other different news outlets, then you see what they're doing. You see what's going on. You see that prophecy is being fulfilled. The fishes also shall mourn, and then Isaiah chapter 19, verse 8. The fishers also shall mourn, and they that cast angle into the brook shall lament, and they that spread nets upon the water shall languish. Moreover, they that work in flying flux, and they that weave the next word shall be confounded. And there shall be broken in the purpose thereof, all that make was we're gonna say sluices and ponds for fish. It would say sluices. That's Isaiah chapter 19, verse 10. Surely the prince of Zoans are fools, and the counsel of the wise counsel of Pharaoh become brutish. How say ye to Pharaoh, I am the son of the wise, the son of the ancient king? Where are they? Where are thy wise men? And let them tell thee now, and let them know that the Lord of hosts hath proposed upon Egypt. The princes of Zoan are become fools. The princes of Nope are deceived. They have also seduced Egypt, even they that are stay of the tribes thereof. The Lord hath mangled a perverse spirit in the midst thereof, and they have caused Egypt to err in every work thereof, as a drunken man staggered in his vomit. So you know, you're talking about Egypt, and that's, you know, you have two Egypts. You have a physical Egypt and a spiritual Egypt. You know that. You should know that by now. The Lord has mangled a perverse spirit in the midst thereof, and have caused Egypt to err in every work thereof, as a drunken man is staggered in his vomit. So neither should there be any work of Egypt what the head or tail, branch or rush may do. In that day shall Egypt be like unto a woman, and shall be afraid and fear because of the shaking of the hand of the Lord of hosts, where he shall shake over it. So that's coming, man. Telling you, man, it's happening now. You just don't see it's happening. It's growing up. It started as a baby, and then it grows up, and then next thing you know, it's full blown. Yeah, and the land of Judah should be a terror unto Egypt. See, and the land of Judah should be a terror unto Egypt. And everyone that make mention thereof should be afraid in himself because of the counsel of the Lord of hosts, which have determined against it. And in that day shall 5 cities in the land of Egypt speak the language of Canaan, and swear to the Lord of hosts. One shall be called the city of destruction. And in that day shall there be an altar to the Lord in the midst of the land of Egypt, and a pillar at the border thereof to the Lord. And it shall be for a sign and for a witness unto the Lord of hosts in the land of Egypt. For they shall cry unto the Lord because of the oppressors, and he shall send them a Savior, a great one, and he shall deliver them. That's right. And man, you got to stop thinking everything is Jesus. Everything's not Jesus. Everything's not Jesus. The Lord God sent different prophets, different people, and different things at different times. Man, so much I could tell you, but man, you go read and you find out how things that are made and how God has done things. Then when you read these things and no pastor, preacher, shepherd, nobody could deceive you because you can go right there to the book and you can show him. That what King David said. I know more than the ancients and more than his teachers. He did. That's right, because he went and seeked out the Lord and found him. Yep. In that day should there be an altar unto the Lord in the midst of the land of Egypt, and a pillar at the border thereof to the Lord. And it shall be a sign and a witness unto the Lord of hosts in the land of Egypt. For they shall cry unto the Lord because of the oppressors, and shall send them a Savior, a great one, and he shall deliver them. So are you crying? Are you crying back unto the Lord right now? No, this is just a question. I know I'm crying back unto him. Sure have. Repent with your whole heart and keep all his commandments. Humble yourself before the throne of grace. Repent with your whole heart, keep all his commandments. Enter back into the bonds of forever covenant. That's how you got out the first thing. That's in the book of Hashar, Jasher, and go to Hashar chapter 70. Yeah, go to Hashar chapter 70. And the Lord should be known to Egypt, and the Egyptians should know that the Lord in that day shall do sacrifice and oblation. And you shall vow unto the Lord and perform it. And the Lord shall smite Egypt. He shall smite and heal it. And they shall return even to the Lord, and he shall be entreated of them, and shall heal them. In that day shall there be a highway out of Egypt to Assyria. And the Assyria shall come into Egypt, and the Egyptian into Assyria. And Egyptians shall serve with the Assyrians. In that day shall Israel be the third with Egypt and with the Assyrian, and the blessing in the midst of the land. So Israel, are you that third? Whom the Lord of hosts shall bless, saying, Blessed be Egypt, my people, and Assyria, the work of my hand, and Israel, my inheritance. So that's who we are. We're the everlasting inheritance of man. Go to I'll go to that for you. I'll go there for you. The book of the 12 patriarchs, when we go on to page 107, that's why I keep telling you about these books. And know who you are. And that's the hardest thing that's going on right now, to get the elderly, to get the elderly people to get out that Christianity stuff and learn that they're Israel, to get them out that church house and that slave mentality. It's hard to get that out. Yes, it is. Man, you can keep on, boy, and they hold on to that lie with all their heart, might, mind, and soul, and think that the Lord God is not going to punish you. But the Lord God told us, I'm not going to leave you totally unpunished. Yeah, because you're ignorant and you don't want to get out of it. That's right. So we're going to page 107, and we're going to the further prophecy concerning. It don't say future, it says the further, F-U-R-T-H-E-R, prophecy concerning Benjamin's posterity. If ye therefore, my children, walk in holiness according to the commandments of the Lord, ye shall again dwell securely with me, and all of Israel shall be gathered unto the Lord. See that? All of Israel. I just finished reading that. And this book was read before Isaiah. It was. This Benjamin. This going way back. This was written before we was in slavery. The first time. Yeah. So that's what he said. He said, if ye therefore, my children, walk in holiness according to the commandments of the Lord. What are the commandments of the Lord? All right. So you know the commandments are holy. Ye shall again dwell securely with me, and all Israel should be gathered unto the Lord. So what that goes back to, it goes back to when our fathers told us. I'm not going to turn to that page, because if you have the book, you go turn and read it for yourself. When your fathers told you, when you return and when you repent with your whole heart and keep all his 10 commandments and back into the bonds of the forever covenant, then he's going to take you out this place and plant you back on land. And when you repent with your whole heart keep all his commandments in the back and the bonds of forever covenant. That's when the day of the enemy, yeah, that's when the enemy shall be destroyed. So that's in page 75, the same book. Same book. The Testament of 12, page 59, page 75. It's so hard to get you to change from these even with the ways these people have been taught you. Man, the heathen taught you, and your enemies done taught you. And it's hard for you to give up. And I should no longer be called a ravening wolf on account of your revenge, ravages, but a worker of the law, distributing food to them that work that is good. And there shall rise in the latter days one that beloved of the Lord, of the tribe of Judah and Levi, and a doer of his good pleasure in his mouth, with the new knowledge enlighten the Gentiles, until the consummation of the age shall be in the synagogues of the Gentiles among their rulers as a strain of music in the mouth of all. And he shall be inscribable in the holy books, both in his works and his word. And he shall be a chosen one of God forever. And through him shall they go to and fro in Jacob my father, saying he shall fill up with lacketh out of the tribe. So he shall fill up with lacketh out of the tribe. So man, all I can do is just tell it to you. So let me finish reading it to you. So we're gonna start at page 106. Benjamin's inheritance to his son. See what I say? It's on page 106 of Testament 12 prayer by Orange Shaw. So we go on to page 106. Benjamin's inheritance to his son. And when he had said these things, he said unto them, Know ye therefore, my children, that I am dying. Do ye therefore truth each one to his neighbor, and keep the law of the Lord and his commandments. All of them tell you the same thing. But what you did, become a proselyte. I'm going to explain that to you too. For these things do I leave you instead of inheritance. These things I leave to you instead of inheritance. Do ye therefore give them to your children for an everlasting possession. So did both Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Did for us. Yeah. For all these things that they give us for an inheritance. See that? That's our inheritance. Our inheritance is what? Yeah, do ye also there give to your children for everlasting inheritance? For so did both Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. For all these things they gave us for inheritance. That's what they did, the 10 Commandments. Everything that God did, they passed it down to us. That's saying, keep the commandments of the God. Keep the commandments of God until the Lord shall reveal his salvation to all Gentiles. And then shall you see Enoch, Noah, and Shem, and Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob rising on the right hand of the land in gladness. Then shall we also rise, each one, well, it didn't cut off some, each one to our tribe, worshiping the King of heaven, who appeared upon earth in the form of a man in humility. And as many as believe on him on earth shall rejoice with him. Then also all men shall rise, some unto glory, some unto shame. And the Lord shall judge Israel first in their unrighteousness. For when he appeared as God in flesh to deliver them, they believe him not. And then shall he judge all the Gentiles, as men believe him, not when he appeared upon earth. And he shall convict Israel through the chosen ones of the Gentile, even as he reproved Esau through the Midianites, who deceived their brothers. So they fell into fornication, idolatry, and they was alienated from God, becoming their children and the portion of them that fear God. So, see, I've been trying to get to that part, what the Midianites did, because that's how they got you, man. That's how what these people did. Balak and them, that's what they did, man. That's how they got you. And so I'm trying to, well, we'll see. We'll see. So I read those things to you for your inheritance. So you know what your inheritance is. So I had this man on TV called, I won't get his name right, called Stephen Furtick. Fortick, Furtick, Fortick, Stephen Fortick. And man, there he go with his lies. Man, I'm calling them out. And they tell you, well, who said that? Let me tell them Elijah said that, and they can come confront me about it. Tell them that. Because this man don't do nothing but lie, talking about suffering, and don't know nothing about what the suffering. Let me tell you what let me read what Jesus said about suffering. This in the Acts of John, and this in the Synoptic Gospels. And this is what Jesus said. Jesus said, this is what Jesus said, sir. What now I am, see to be that I am not. Thou shalt see when thou comest. If thou hast known how to suffer, thou wouldst have been able not to suffer. Learn thou to suffer, then thou shalt be able not to suffer. And that's what I did. That's right. So man, it's a blessing to know the truth. Man, look. I'm going to read something else to you. Same thing. With this on page 62. What thou knowest now, I myself will teach thee. What thou knowest not, I myself will teach thee. Thy God am I, not the God of the traitor. I will keep tune with holy souls, and me know that thou the word of wisdom. And me know thou the word of wisdom. Excuse me for my stammering tongue, but that's how he's giving it to me. So yeah, man, these people got so much wickedness and filth and demons and man, so much humming and stuff, man. If you truth, I was in Israel and I was in Haifa. Man, it's a beautiful city. It's a beautiful city on the Mediterranean. And boy, at night when I go to sleep, but this in Jerusalem, is all in Israel, that piece of dirt over there that they want to claim, that our piece of land. But listen anyway. So at night when you lay down, boy, all you can hear is digging. So you hear digging. But they didn't got used to the digging, so when they don't hear it because they didn't got used to it. And man, that's all you hear, digging. Not the truth. So I'm here in New Orleans, I live in New Orleans. On the river, boy. So one morning, man, I hear this humming. Man, this humming is so loud, bro. So loud, man. It was like damaging my eardrum. And I've been hearing that humming ever since. And humming in everything. And these people are doing things to interrupt the harmony of wisdom. That's what they're doing. So, man, you putting stuff past your enemy, man. Your enemy is doing everything unto you. He contaminated the food. I read that to you. I have read that to you in this book here. And how the enemy plans to destroy you. Yeah, he did plan to destroy your food source, your water source, and he did plan to do all that. And that's why the Lord God warning you, keep telling you. Humble yourself before the throne of grace, repent with your whole heart, keep all his commandments, and enter back into the bonds of forever covenant. Forgive me. I mean, if you're irritated about that, turn the channel, go to something else. That's all I can tell you. Because these people have deceived you. Yeah, these people have deceived you to know that a regular, natural body function is imperfect. And who does that? Satan. Yeah. Satan does. So if you ever read the book of Adam, this one here is written by Joseph Lawkins. If you ever read that book, then you understand. But you haven't done the first key. What's the very first key? To repent with your whole heart, keep all his commandments, and enter back into bonds of forever covenant. So if you're not keeping this covenant day, you're wasting your time. Because everything that you get is going to be contaminated. Everything you get is going to be still in darkness. That's how, man, that's what the Lord God have taught me over time. And when the Lord God said that life be filled in darkness, how great is the darkness? Another thing, they had this other one. I'm calling them all out. This other man called Pastor Pierce. I don't know. It's this the son. This ain't the it's not the daddy. It's the son. And he gonna try to teach on the kingdom of heaven, on the rich young ruler. And Lord God point blank told you that you should, the poor you should have what you always. Now let him go back and get his tape and whatever he said, and then let him correct that, because the Lord God says the poor you gonna have what you always. That's what he done. The woman with the memorial, the one with the alabaster box, and they was trying to get her to get the box from her to take it and go sell it to the poor. And Jesus said, let her do what she's doing. Because the poor you should have what you always. So that's the way it is. And he trying to preach about the rich young ruler. Now how you going to preach about the rich young you and you one of them? You go give away all your stuff. You go sell all your stuff what you have and give it to the poor. Give away those suits and that fine car and the house, the mortgage and everything that you're paying for. Go give that away. Sell that and give it to the poor. But you supposed to be a shepherd. You the one supposed to be feeding them, and you're not feeding them. They feeding you and your daddy. Fed your daddy all his life, now they feed you, and you're gonna try to justify that? Come on, man. Come on, man. Y'all done took the word of God and made it your own thing. That's what God said. And this is this program about. But I'm digress. I don't want to get too excited because I still got those dreams, and I want to tell you those dreams. I still got them. And man, this, and I'm gonna put this when I do this video. Put this in the title of the video. What's going on? That's right. So now let's go to oh man, they have so much, and it's so much that you need, but you have to, first of all, if you never believe that you are Israel, God chosen people, and that the Jews are one people, that's another thing. Man, so much I've been listening to. That's another thing. And that's explained in one of my other videos. Yeah, who are the Jews? Yeah, who are the Jews? And the Jews always follow Abraham. You got two different people. And I explained that to you. I said, at the time, because people don't even know who Jews are. They don't know that Israel and the Jews are two different people. That the Jews always follow Israel. And I told you how the Jews came about. All you got to do is go read. You got to get away from the Bible. Now you know the Bible is abridged. Now you learned that. You learned that in the second book of Second Maccabee, what Jason had done. So now you know they got the other books out there that's not abridged, and you go read those books, and then you learn that Father Abraham, when Father Abraham came into the situation and God told him to circumcise all the people that was with him, you know that them people was not of Abraham's seed because Isaac was not born yet. Now, I explained that to you. Go get the book, read the book of Hashir, and learn that Isaac was not born. Ishmael was born, but Isaac wasn't born yet when that came down. So when that came down, there are other people that was with Father Abraham, and you know how he got those people. And those people are the Jews. So you have to know that. Come on, man. You have to know that. So all I can do is just keep telling you, keep telling you, keep telling you. So now I got off course for what I want to tell you. But the reason why I'm doing this because, man, I can spend all day just right here telling you, going over the things that they don't know, that they feeding you these same lies that their fathers taught. These fathers there, they fathers them past apostolites. Let me explain to this. Let me explain this what happened. I want to take my time and explain this to you what happened. Yeah, so let's go to proselytes. So that's in St. Matthew chapter 23. St. Matthew 23. Now, you got to understand the Jews knew that they couldn't stop that with what Jesus had done. They couldn't stop it. But they could take control of it. And so that's what they did. And that's what the Lord God was warning you, telling you about the Jews. And he said, well, how you know they took control of it? All right, I'm going to read it to you. I don't have to guess where things come from. I know where they come from because why? The Lord God gave it to me where I found that. So let's go. So we're going back. I just finished reading this to you. So this in the Gospel of St. Thomas, and we're going, this one here is on page 11, and we're going to verse 39. Just read this to you in the other video. Jesus said, the Pharisees and the scribes. So who are the Pharisees and the scribes? Those that say they are Jews, but are not. The Pharisees and the scribes have taken the keys of knowledge and hidden them. They themselves have not entered, nor have they allowed to enter those who wish to. You, however, be wise as a serpent and is innocent as a dove. Wait a minute, I can read you some more. Yeah, man, can I read you some more? Man, this the Lord God given. How would I know these things unless the Lord God have given them to me? Yeah, he have given it to me. And just like Levi and all our brothers told you that the Jews, yeah, the Levites and the Jews was going to get together and work a sin against who? Israel. Against who? Judah. Israel and Judah, because they're not the same. We are not the same people. That's right. We are God's chosen people, and they want to be God's chosen people. And they took a tag and put on us as we evil, wrong, and wicked and all that. That's why they keep that on you, and that's why they keep that evil and wickedness all on TV to program your children, you and all yourself, like it's all right for you to go out there and commit fornication, adultery, and do all these different things. But it's not all right. No, it's not all right. And that was the Lord God was telling me. Okay. So as Jesus was there, listen to this. This is page 63. Thus, beloved, having danced, the Lord went, and we was gone astray, or danced with the sheep fled this way and that. I then saw him suffer, and did not abide by his suffering, but fled unto the Mount of Olives. This is John speaking, weeping at which had befallen. And when he was crucified on Friday at the 6th hour, the dead darkness came up on all the earth. And the Lord stand in the midst of the caves and lightened it, and said, John, unto the multitude below in Jerusalem, this John, I am being crucified, pierced with a lance and reed, and gall and vinegar is given to me. But unto thee I speak, and what I hear that I put into thy mind to come up here to this mountain, that thou mightest hear those things which below a disciple to learn from his teacher, and a man from his God. And having thus spoken, he showed me the cross, a light fixture set upon him, and about the cross a great multitude. Now I'm going to skip from there. I'm not going to, because that's, those who know the Lord God, go find it. Go find it. That's right. And, man, so Lord God, come straight out and tell you about those Jews. Yeah, the lawless Jews, that's what he called. He called them the lawless Jews because they had conspired together to kill him. Yeah, that's what they did. Oh, man. All right, here you go. This is on page 61. And the page will start at 94. Now, before he was taken by the lawless Jews, who also was governed had their law from, governed by, and they had their law from the lawless serpent. He gathered all of us together before I had delivered up to them, and singing hymn to the Father, and to go forth and do what was before them. But that's what he said. Now before he was taken by the lawless Jews, who were governed by their law from the lawless serpent. So, man, that's all I can tell you, man. Just keep on telling you that the Lord God give it to me. That's why I keep on telling you. All right, so now we're going to proselyte, because you had two people that's always together. And like two sibling rivalry. The Jews always want to be Israel. Why? Because they are God's chosen people. And they just work to make it seem like they are God's chosen people, to get everything that we had. And that's why I told you, and the name I couldn't remember just was Naaman. Yeah, what you think they did, man, when they stole that name? When Jezebel and Ahab stole the land from Naaman, and, concocted their lie. And that's the same thing what the people have done to you, but they've done it on a grander scale. Where they done told a whole world that you evil, wicked, and bad, and you no good when it is them. And when you go to Jesus tell you that in St. Matthew, the 23rd chapter. Woe unto you, scribes, Pharisees, hypocrites, for you pay the tithes of mint and anise and cunning, but have omitted the weightier matters of the law, judgment, mercy, and faith, and ought to have done, and not leave the others undone. So what he said? This is what he said. They're paying tithes of what? Mint, anise, and cumin, stuff they can get money from. But the stuff that they were supposed to be paying, law, judgment, mercy, and faith, he said, these are things you have ought to done, but you haven't done. Just like those people now, they in those church houses, synagogues, and sanctuaries, that's what they're doing. They want you to pay tithes with money, but the other tithes, the law, judgment, mercy, the tithes that you really need to be paying, you're not paying those. And they got you there, and then you can go do whatever you want to do and just come right back down and just say your prayers and everything, and God gonna forgive you, and you're gonna, man, that's a lie. And you just fall into that lie, and you're in those church houses, you're in those synagogues, sanctuaries, and you're getting sick like a dog, and talking about, oh Lord, God will heal us from everything. Oh, you gotta do, but you're not being healed, and you're getting sicker and sicker, and then now on top of that, your children are being sicker. And not on top of that, you have these children coming out with deformities and all like that. And what the Lord God told you from the beginning. He said, don't mess with them strangers. Don't go down there and intermingle with those strangers and everything. Why? Because you're going to become what you're going to become. You're going to become, you're going to get all the diseases and things that they have. You're going to enter into us, and that's what they have done. Yeah, you can contaminate yourself. You're going to contaminate your seed. And that's what you have done. Just like he told you, that's why he had to destroy the children of Cain. And I read that to you. That's what the fallen watch, this is what it's all about. They contaminate all the seed is being contaminated. There's no pure seed. And all they had was Noah. Yeah, they had Enoch, Noah, and Shem. Man, come on, bro. All they had on the mountain, on the top, they had Methuselah and Methuselah and Enoch was the only ones left on the mountain. I read that to you in the second book of Adam and Eve with the children. I'm gonna say this, and then that's gonna be in the meat. All right. But woe unto you, scribes, Pharisees, and hypocrites, for you have shut up the kingdom of heaven against men. For ye neither go in yourselves, neither suffer ye them that enter to go in. So I just finished reading that to you. That was Thomas. That's what he said. And that's what they're doing. Woe unto you, scribes. Woe unto you, scribes and Pharisees and hypocrites, for you devour widows' houses, and for pretense make long prayer. Therefore you shall receive the greater damnation. I'm not finished. Woe unto you, scribes, Pharisees, and hypocrites, for you compass the sea and land to make one proselyte, and when he is made, you make him twofold more the child of hell than yourself. And I explained that to you once before. So the Pharisees and scribes and the hypocrites got together. Go read them, and Jason, them, that's what they did. They got together. And they knew they couldn't stop this thing, what Jesus had brought into the world, and the prophecy and everything was being fulfilled. They knew they could, but they wanted to take control of it. And so that's what they got. They got what that, what his name, and that's in the book of, yeah, that's in the book of wisdom, second book of Maccabees. So when you go in that book, you see what Jason and them did that work. They got what Constantine and them got together. And then they made that Holy Bible. They bridged the Holy Bible, got that together. And say, now what you do, when they get saved and everything, well, we got this church house and things set up this way. So when they come to church house, we get them to do what we want them to do and not what God tells them to do. And we got them again, just like that. And that's what we say, you make them twofold more than child hell. Man, I went back in them church houses, like, oh, the Lord God saved me. I went back in them church houses and said, man, I can go to church now because I'm saved and all that. And boy, when them demons finna attack, them 7 demons finna attack me and all that stuff, man, I was worse than I was before. And that's why the Lord God tells you in the book of Revelation, come out of her, my people, be not partaker of sin, and then return back unto your first love. So return back when you first found the Lord thy God. Return back when you saw him. That's all I can do is give it to you like he didn't give it to me. Now, I told you I would wait till at the end of the video to tell you 2 dreams. And this old dream, I told you before in one of my old dreams. I was by this car, and the car, I told you again, the car, the top of the car, it had black on, the bottom of the car, it had red on. And I was about to go get in the car. And the Lord God, the voice, all of the voices came and said, ask T.G. Jakes, what in hell do he want? Just like that. He say, ask T.J. when the hell do we want? Say, man, ask T.J. in the hell do we want? Say, yeah, ask him. So I asked TDJ, and that's during the time when he was getting on the television and giving people that advice. So the other day I had a dream, just like the other day I had a dream. He told you about the 3 men that the law God was executing. I told you that found in the book of Zephaniah where you living to. And I told you one of these men had on a raw blue coat. Yeah. And boy, when I saw TDJ this morning, I knew that it was him. That's right. His time is up, man. His time is up. And nothing he could do, bro. Nothing he can do because he done led all them people astray and was boasting and bragging about it this morning. About how he suffered and did all those things and what he built and what he did and gave not God the glory at all. I done it before too. And God chastised me. Yeah, but he been doing it a long time, bro. Man. So that was that dream, yeah. Yeah. So here's another dream I have working down. And I'm gonna put that at the beginning of for the beginning. Because man, that man had done some wicked stuff, man. Like I told you about this cruise that he having and all that other stuff. Woman died loose, man. Those are God's people that you didn't lead astray. And them people died. Yeah. So listen to this dream. I was working at this place. They had a gatekeeper. And this gate guy, I can tell you his name. This gatekeeper who was my supervisor, he was incompetent. They had many things happening, along with 2 other men was working in this small sector about 3 cubits, 3 cubits, in the office space of 3 cubits. They found 2 dead bodies on them. They had one of them on tape. The supervisor kept harassing me about jobs on things that he was in charge of but couldn't perform them. Yeah, he submitted a report unto the man that was in charge of the whole building. Steve Harvey, this is Steve Harvey, I hadn't told you this dream before. Steve Harvey was in charge of the function of the operation where I was at. He bought me a copy of the charges. He bought me a copy of the charges to the supervisor. Yeah, he bought me a copy of the changes. The supervisor definitely said changes or charges, so either one. He bought me the copy of the charges the supervisor brought forth upon me as he handed me the list of changes. I said, God, I said changing the charges. That's my mistake because I made the R look like an N. And so let's charge. That's as he brought me a copy of the charges the supervisor brought forth upon me. As he handed me the list of the charges, I said, God knows what happened, and the truth will come out. As he was walking away, I was looking down at the charges. He said, fine, I don't have to deal with it, and they have a dead body with you on tape. And I was looking at the paper or the report with the red, white, and blue sparkling colors. Looked down at the part which said about the body that was found. So that's all I can say. Yeah. I had 2 old cars, one older than the other. I was driving the older one because I had purchased it, but the vehicle had stopped running. The man who I purchased it from had a mechanic to come and repair it. I took it out the window and remember I had purchased it. I went out and said, he told me and showed me on what is wrong with the vehicle and why it stopped running. The electrical touches the engine. Yes, the electrical wire touched the engine and short circuited out. The 2 metal parts touched the oil, acts as a conductor between them and circulate throughout the whole car and shorted out. He showed me this small metal part, looked like a starter or a generator. Yeah. So I just these are old dreams, and I have other dreams, man. I didn't go in that search for dream because because the Lord God has shown me what's going on with T.D. Jakes and everything, and so man, all I can do is just tell you what's gonna happen to him. Yeah, yeah, oh yeah. So this is not by might nor by power, but by my spirit, said the Lord of hosts, and I'm alive until next.